Welcome to the 5-Minute Prime Podcast. Quick, actionable tips to master personal finance and real estate investing. In just 5 minutes a day, we'll help you build wealth and achieve financial freedom. Hey, Prime investors, Martin Maxwell here. Welcome back to the 5-Minute Prime Podcast. Two things were supposed to save the second half of 2026. The mortgage lock-in was going to break and flood the market with listings, and the Fed was finally going to cut. Here's the problem. Halfway through the year, the data says both just stalled. This is episode 150, a milestone. So instead of a mid-year recap everybody's already run, I'm giving you a map. 5 themes that will run the second half. We start with the 2 you're waiting on, because you can probably stop waiting. Let me show you why. So, the lock-in. For 3 years, the story's been the same. Nobody sells a 3% mortgage to go buy at 6.5%. We named that trap the lock-in crack a while back, and the crack is real. The pool of sub 4% loans just fell below half of every mortgage in the country, below 50% for the first time since 2020. You'd think that's the dam breaking. It's not. The pace of the unwinding just slowed to its weakest since 2022. Owners paid off their sub 3% loans slower, not faster. And on the other end, loans at 6% or higher are now up to 22% of the market. More people now hold a loan at 6 or higher than hold a sub 3. Read that the way an operator reads it. The handcuffs are loosening in slow motion, but the wave of listings you were told to wait for is flattening out, not building. So if your H2 plan was, sit tight, inventory floods in, I buy the dip from a panicked seller, that seller isn't panicking, they're staying. This half, the supply comes from builders and from distress, not from a lock-in dam letting go. Second thing you're waiting on? The cut. Late July, the Fed meets again, the 28th and 29th, about a week after this drops. And futures right now put roughly an 81% chance on a hold. Not a cut, a hold. So the rates drop by fall plan a lot of people are underwriting to. The market isn't even betting on it for July. But here's the part that actually matters. And it's the thing I've been saying since the Powell Spread episode. Even when the Fed does move, it may not save your payment. Because the number sitting between you and a lower mortgage isn't the Fed funds rate. It's the spread, the gap between the 30-year mortgage and the 10-year Treasury. That gap is sitting near 2 points right now. Normal is 1.5 to 1.8. That's 20 to 50 basis points, call it 1/4 to 0.5% of fear premium that can close with the Fed doing nothing. But it's been stubbornly wide since 2022. So underwrite today's rate. A spread that normalizes is upside you didn't pay for, not a plan you wait on. Watch the spread. Don't wait on it. 2 themes in, and here's the payoff. The flush and the cut were the 2 pillars of just wait. Both are wobbling, which means the move isn't to wait, it's to underwrite the market in front of you. So let's map the 3 things that are actually moving. Theme 3, and this is the big one, the rotation. Nationally, home values are up about 2.4% this year. That's the first number, and it's useless, because it hides the second number. Almost 1 in 4 metros is falling. This isn't one market, it's 2 Americas. Soft America is the Sun Belt, Florida Gulf Coast first. On our own metro numbers, Cape Coral's down more than 7% year over year on price, among the steepest declines in the country. Austin down about 6%, and soft on rent too, not just price. Strong America is the Midwest and Northeast. Cleveland up more than 4% on value. Milwaukee, Syracuse, Chicago, climbing on both rent and price. The exact split we mapped in the 89 Metros episode, and the exact reason we called Cleveland a 2026 winner back in the Tier 2 episode. It's still true. It's more true. Now, if you already own in the Sun Belt, don't panic. This isn't sell everything. This is know your real number before you buy the next one. Because here's the genuinely hard call this half. In Florida, active listings are finally shrinking. One tracker has them down double digits year over year. That's usually the first sign a floor is forming. But prices are still falling. So which is it, floor or falling knife? My honest answer? The floor is forming, not confirmed. Inventory tightening is the earliest tell, and it's flashing. But the numbers decide, not the narrative, and the price hasn't turned yet. And check whether that shrinking inventory is actually selling or just being pulled. Delistings look like a floor and aren't one. So this is an entry timing window for the operator who underwrites hard, not an all clear for the tourist. If you buy Soft America right now, you buy it at the +5 floor, a cap rate at least 5 points above the 10-year Treasury, or you don't buy it. Theme 4, the builders. This is where the supply actually comes from and where the deals are hiding. Builder confidence is on the floor. That sentiment index sits at 35, one of the worst runs since 2011. But confidence is the headline. Read the margin, like we did in the margin compression episode. One national builder just posted a gross margin around 15.5%, and, this is the tell, said its incentives are beginning to ease. Another ran 73% of its closings on a rate buydown. 73%. That's the machine. Builders are spending their own profit to buy down your rate because they'd rather move volume than cut the sticker. And that buydown is real, usable leverage. A builder handing you a 5 handle, a rate that starts with a 5 in a 6.5 world, can beat a resale on the monthly payment. But check 2 things: that it's a permanent buydown, not a teaser that resets, and that it isn't baked into an above-market sticker you'll eat on resale. Win the payment, but lose the basis, and you didn't win. Where the incentives start easing, that's a builder telling you they smell a floor. Watch the incentive percentage the way you watch a cap rate. Theme 5, and I'll keep it tight, because it's the discipline beat, not the headline. Insurance. The map moved. Florida, the epicenter, is actually easing. The state insurer filed its first rate cut in a decade, down almost 9% on average, and it shed most of its policies. Meanwhile, the shock jumped inland. Michigan up nearly 50%. No coastline, no hurricane in sight. And even the storm states that were supposed to settle down are still climbing. Louisiana up 58%. So the lesson from the insurance equation still holds. It just travels. On any deal in a storm or litigation state, hold the +5 line. Your cap rate has to clear the 10-year Treasury by 5 points, and a climbing premium is exactly what drags you under it, before you sign. The map changed, the discipline didn't. So that's the H2 map. 5 themes, and notice what's not on it. A flush of listings and a Fed cut. Those were the 2 things you were waiting for, and they're the 2 things stalling. The waiting trap. Here's your challenge today, and it's 1 line of homework. Pull up your top target metro, the one you'd actually buy in this half, and get its real number, not the national headline, its own year-over-year on rent and price. Run it through the cash flow calculator on reiprime.com or any spreadsheet you trust. Then ask 1 question: which America is it in? That answer alone changes how you'd play it, and it's the whole assignment if you're still getting to your first deal. If you're already buying, soft metro, Sunbelt, falling on both. Re-underwrite against the +5 floor before you touch it. And honestly, most won't clear it yet. Strong metro, a Cleveland, a Milwaukee. Run 3 more deals there this week, because the competition already figured out the rotation move to the Midwest. Early to a floor, not late to it. One thing to watch, that Fed meeting, the 28th and 29th. Not for the cut, for the language on the spread. The map's going to move again. I'm Martin Maxwell. This has been the 5 Minute Prime Podcast. I'll see you next episode.